Anthony Joshua break his public silence for the first time since the crash. In a post that was shared to Instagram, the world heavyweight champion released an image alongside what appears to be perhaps the parents of Gami and Ayodele, offering a quiet but powerful tribute to two men.
That people came out to show their respects, but they also came out to support Anthony Joshua, because what must he be going through right now? You know?
But these two young men that lost their lives and their families, how it's affected their families. So you want to concentrate on AJ. How's it going to affect AJ? Instead of concentrating on how's it affected the people that have lost their trust. It's just sad. It just makes you realise how valuable life is and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs and these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing your life. So it was a sad thing to hear, a sad thing to see. God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these two men who were somebody's child, someone's brother, and that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives.
In the high-stakes world of heavyweight boxing, Anthony Joshua has long been defined by his stoicism, his immense physical presence, and almost impenetrable mental fortitude. He is a man built for battle, trained to absorb punishment and remain standing. Yet, in the harrowing aftermath of a catastrophic car crash in Nigeria, the world witnessed the undisputed champion facing an opponent no amount of training could prepare him for profound, earth-shattering grief. For the first time since the accident that mercilessly claimed the lives of his closest confidants, Sina and Lats, Ayodele, Joshua broke his public silence, offering a glimpse into a soul deeply wounded by loss. The silence that initially followed the crash was heavier than any punch Joshua had ever thrown. It was a vacuum filled with speculation and worry, but mostly it was a sound of a man attempting to process an impossible reality. When he finally emerged on social media, it was not with a statement about his injuries or his career prospects. Instead, he posted a single, deeply poignant image on Instagram. The photo showed Joshua sitting quietly with what appeared to be the grieving parents and family members of Gami and Ayodele. The caption was sparse, carrying the weight of the sacred vow, "My brother's keeper." This three-word tribute was far more powerful than any press release. It was a declaration that while Sina and Latif were gone from the physical world, Joshua's loyalty to them had only intensified. It signaled a shift in his reality, where his primary duty was no longer defending belt and ring, but defending the legacy of his fallen friends and supporting the shattered families they left behind. The image offered a quiet but devastating tribute, underscoring that beneath the superstar exterior beats a deeply human heart, currently broken by the loss of men he considered closer than blood ties.
I wasn't gonna go say anything to him. I was walking out, then I got a tap on the shoulder. I turned around, it was Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? And we had a brief chat and a little embrace and that. And then I left. But it was, funerals are never good.
The depth of the sorrow was starkly evident when Joshua returned to the UK after being discharged from the Lagos hospital, where he was treated for his own injuries. He flew back not to recover in luxury, but to attend the funerals of Sina and Latif at the London Central Mosque. It was here, in a sacred space designed for mourning and reflection, that the champion's armor truly cracked. Witnesses described a heartbreaking scene where the normally composed athlete openly broke down in tears. Spencer Farron, a familiar figure in the boxing community, recounted a brief, emotionally charged encounter with Joshua at the funeral. Farron had intended to keep his distance, respecting the raw vulnerability of the moment, but felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned to find Joshua.
such a severe car accident there. Like, all right, he's lucky enough to still be alive, but fuck me, his body must be going through a lot right there. This is not a man who winces in pain easily, right? He gets punched for a living. And obviously, like, you're supposed to take people out of car accidents like that with great care because you don't want to...
Their subsequent embrace and brief exchange were heavy with unspoken pain. Farron noted that in that setting, AJ wasn't the titan of the ring. He was simply a friend grieving brothers he deeply loved, his presence alone articulating a sorrow that transcended language. It was a stark reminder that grief respects no titles, no legacy, and no amount of physical strength. The tragedy has sent shockwaves through the entire boxing fraternity, forcing a collective pause and a reevaluation of what truly matters. The usual noise of fight hype, rivalries, and strategic analysis was rendered instantly trivial. Figures like Johnny Nelson spoke to the heart of the situation, emphasizing that while the public naturally focuses on a famous survivor, the true weight of the tragedy lies with the families who lost their sons, brothers, and fathers. Nelson pointed out that seeing two men whom Joshua trusted implicitly with his life and training snatched away so suddenly has left the heavyweight visibly shaken. This wasn't just a loss of colleagues. It was a severing of deep familial bonds that will weigh on Joshua forever. The brutality of the crash itself cannot be overstated. Reports indicate the Lexus SUV carrying Joshua and his team collided with a stationary truck in a violent impact. For Joshua to walk away with minor physical injuries while his two closest allies were killed instantly is a trauma that brings with it complex layers of survivor's guilt. Observers like Pie Name highlighted the severity of the accident, noting that while Joshua is conditioned to endure physical pain, the psychic wounds from surviving such carnage are of an entirely different magnitude. The mental replay of those horrifying moments, the what-ifs, and the burden of being the one left behind constitute a psychological battle far more grueling than any 12-round fight. The emotional devastation was such that it bridged even the deepest divides in the sport. Gerald Miller, a fighter known for his abrasive relationship with Joshua, expressed deep sympathy. His reaction was a testament to universal understanding that no athlete, regardless of their toughness, is equipped for the emotional wreckage of losing brothers in such a sudden, senseless manner. Miller echoed a sentiment felt by fans globally. This wasn't a headline or a plot twist in a boxing narrative. It was a life-altering human catastrophe. Even Tyson Fury, often Joshua's most vocal antagonist, stepped away from the persona of a rival to offer a message steeped in humanity. In the face of such finality, Fury called for compassion and unity, reminding the world that beneath the promotion and the trash talk, they are all brothers and sisters under God. His urging to spread love rather than hate resonated deeply in a community often characterized by aggression. It was a stark illustration of how real tragedy recalibrates perspectives, making previous animosity seem petty and irrelevant. Gareth A. Davis perhaps best articulated this shift in focus. Before the crash, the boxing world was consumed with speculation about Joshua's next opponent and his tactical evolution. In an instant, those conversations became meaningless noise. The reality on a Nigerian highway fundamentally reshaped Joshua's existence. Grief does not yield to fight schedules or career trajectories. The priority instantly shifted from honing a jab to navigating the labyrinth of loss, ensuring his own mental stability, and honoring the memories of Lats and Sina. The boxing world was forced to realize that healing, not hype, was now the only thing that mattered. The aftermath also involves a grim legal reality. Nigerian authorities confirmed that the driver involved faces serious felony charges for dangerous driving. While the emotional focus remains on the grief of the families and Joshua, this legal process serves as a harsh reminder of the avoidable nature of road tragedies and the demand for accountability amidst the sorrow. Ultimately, the Anthony Joshua who emerged from that wreckage is not the same man who entered it. Eddie Hearn captured the immense new responsibility resting on Joshua's shoulders. Hearn stressed that beyond the sport, Joshua has taken on a deeply personal debt to the families of Sina and Latif. These men were his loyal companions through countless sacrifices and victories, the architect behind the scenes of his success. Now, Joshua owes them more than just tears. He has pledged a lifetime of support to those they left behind. John Fury offered a simple message of gratitude that Joshua survived, a sentiment shared by millions, but one that is complicated by the high price of that survival. Joshua now carries a heavy burden of continuing on when his brothers could not.